Hello, geometry students. I hope everyone's doing okay. Okay, so today's lesson is going to be on what we call space figures and cross sections. Okay, well, first we're going to talk about space figures. We're going to talk about cross sections tomorrow. So this is part one. This is just space figures. This is a figure in space. If you look at it, it's a three-dimensional shape. Keep in mind that when we look at these type of three-dimensional shapes, that the solid lines would be, imagine this, to me, what this looks like is a block of cheese. Okay? You know, I think if you get a slice of some cheese from what you would call it, a wheel of cheese, if you go to a deli or something like that, you might have seen something like this. Think of it, there was a wheel and it was cut off. So it was laid down on your table and you're looking at it from this angle. Your view is this way. Okay, you're going looking this way. These solid lines represent the lines you would see. Now, of course, in a three-dimensional figure, there are lines you don't see, and these are what the dashed lines represent. Almost like this is made out of glass. And you could see the other lines, though you can't directly see them. You have to look through them. Okay, so keep that in mind. So there's some lines that you can see, some lines you can't see. Now, what happens here is we have three different words we have to define here. Vertices, edges, and faces. Okay? So, vertices are all the little corners where three or more edges. And now edges are the sides here. So I'm going to make all my vertices green. Okay. So these are all the points in it. If you put this thing to your hand, this would be the one that would be ow, 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 like a pencil, right? The sharp corners of this. Okay? So that makes it easy. So all these places where the edges meet, we call those the vertices. Well, they say, how many vertices are there? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Essentially, all of the ones with a name, with a letter next to them. So we have how many vertices? So let's ask that question. So we have 1. Okay, I'm going to call this question 1. We have R, S, U, T, V, and W. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So altogether there's 6 of them. Okay, pretty cool, pretty cool. Now they say edges. Now edges, I'm going to put in purple. Well, edges are all these sides where two faces meet. Faces being like these flat parts, the planes, if you can imagine. So in purple, I'll draw in all the faces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 9 edges. So edges, 9 edges. But I have to label these edges are segments, so I have to label all of them. So here we go. RS, UT. I'm going to keep them in groups. ST, RU. Yes, I am. UV, TW, VW, Volkswagen. And what am I missing here? SW, and RV, recreational vehicle. There's those 9 sides, okay? Excuse me, the 9 edges. Now, next thing is sides. So I wish I had something that was close to this shape. Unfortunately, I don't. I would have an example in the classroom. I know that for a fact because I have this shape in the classroom. But it's the flat edges. So how am I going to describe this. I'm going to hopefully think you're thinking of a wedge like this. A doorstop, some people call these. But I don't currently have a good example for this in my house. Just as happens with the COVID-19. Okay, so it's how many flat sides do you have? Well, I have a flat side on the bottom. That's the bottom of it. I have a flat side on the back. I have these two triangular sides on the side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have a flat side on the top. So 1, 2, the two sides, bottom, top, 3, 4, and back, 5. So altogether, I have, well, I did purple, I did green. I see if I shade it in, you might get confused, so I don't want to shade it in. But the sides, we said we have 5 sides. Now, they're really just a whole bunch of planes. So I have RS, WV, RS, WV. I have UT, WV, UT, WV. That's the one on the bottom. Then I have the one in the back, RS, TU. And then I have the two triangles, RUV, and then STW. And that, as we said, gives us 5. So use this lesson to get a good idea of what we're talking about when we say vertices, edges, and faces. So I'm going to do my example that I'm going to do for the next one. The next lesson, butter. Okay, so let's look at butter for a second. Butter comes in a stick. It's a 3-dimensional shape. Okay, some of us get butter in buckets, whatever you call them. I get my butter in sticks. Okay, now the thing is, the butter is a 3-dimensional shape. Okay, now it's got edges, it's got vertices, and it has got sides or faces. So let's look at the vertices. These out, 2, 3, 4. The 4 sharp corners here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 sharp corners here. So I think of them like the corners, the sharpest parts of the shape. This has 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 on each side. How many edges? Well, that's another good question. 1, 2, 3, 4 edges along here. But then 1, 2, 3, 4 edges along there. 4 plus 4 is 8. Plus another 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 edges on my butter. And then finally, how many faces? 1 is a nice flat face. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I have 2 more faces. 1 here. 1, 2. So 4 and 2 is 6. Now what you're going to see is there's a pattern. Okay? And we're going to get into the next one. It's this thing called Euler's formula, and I'll show us how to use it. All right, so I'll talk to you in a bit. All right.